All right, the home stretch. Let's get to the Broncos, the grand finalists from last year. This year, they've picked up Fletcher Baker from the Roosters. Is it next to your notes, David? Are you right there?
Was the Dragons, but we'll go with the Broncos.
No, let's do Dragons. That's good.
You already started the Broncos.
Do Broncos. Broncos, Fletcher Baker, Jaden Hunt in. They've lost Capel. They've lost Herbie. They've lost Flegler. They've lost Paliasia. And they've lost Quay Ward. How's the draw look?
Yeah, 6 games against the top 4 and only 4 games against the bottom 3. But one of the tougher draws in the competition.
Play the Dolphins twice, Titans, Storm, Cowboys, Eels, Panthers, Rabbitohs, Roosters. It's what you get. It's what you get with the Broncos. You get the Friday, Thursday night, and you get one of the top teams against them because they are top team out of there. They do have 7 of the first 12 games at Suncorp. Plus, as I said earlier, they get the Magic Round game, which would have been at Brookie otherwise.
They do have a tough Origin schedule. They're playing against quality opposition, and I think there's a 5-day turnaround in there as well. So
right. They got a trial against the Cowboys this week, and they got Manly the week after. If I didn't mention it, 68-6 was the final score in the South Manly trials.
Jeez.
I haven't seen any of it, obviously. I might go back and even tonight later on watch the...
Get the mini out if there's one around.
I think it's only on the NRL app. Okay.
Well, now we're talking about the Broncos. I watched the Tristan Saylor show yesterday, apparently it was, when he tore him apart in a 15-minute stretch. He's not in my 17, though. I've gone with Walsh. He should be. I've gone with Walsh, Arthur, Stagg, Cobbo, who's going to be playing in the centres. Coates on the other wing, but, Dean Mariner's there and thereabouts. Mam, Reynolds, Haas, Walters, Willison, Baker, Ricky, Carrigan, Tyson Smoothie on the bench, but could well be Tristan Saylor. Tapau, Jensen, Hetherington. Grand final team, great team. I am a little bit concerned they missed their window. I actually think last year was their year, but Barney, how would you describe the Broncos' play style? Up-tempo, hard-hitting.
Yeah, 100%.
Good. Okay, cool.
Very strong through the middle of the field. Some of the hardest workers in any forward pack that you're going to find. Absolute monster in Payne Haas, who's almost impossible to tackle one-on-one, just charging through the middle, generally followed by Carrigan straight up his backside. Get that go forward going fantastically well. Not a huge running threat out of dummy half, but the service that gets out to Reynolds and Mam is decent enough.
The drums are beating. I know I've put Smoothie at 14, but the Blake Moser drums are beating.
Had a pretty impressive trial game as well, apparently. But service has been good enough to get the ball out to Ezra Mam and Reynolds in time for them to be able to do their work outside. I'm a little bit worried with some of the losses, to be honest. Farnworth and Flegler, for mine, are big losses. Paliasia takes a bit of depth out of that forward rotation, which has at some 50-50 they were with their rotation last year, I thought. A lot of times when they got into their rotation, it was as good as the guys that were out there, but a lot of times it fell away pretty drastically, and taking Paliasia out of it I don't think helps. And Flegler, there's a bit of size and, aggression coming out of there.
Of all teams in the comp, they've had the biggest losses.
I think so.
And as I said, if they're ever going to win a comp, it would have been about the 60-minute mark last year. I think they're worse off this year. I do, and I think I assume they're a good team, but I think they missed their shot. One
of the best kicking games in the comp through Adam Reynolds, obviously. Ezra Mam,
but they've got to nurse him through a year, 35 years old.
We saw when his running game was up and going, he's very good ball in hand. Needs to work a little bit on his pass selection, but did get better as the season went longer. Outside backs are big, fast, mobile, good footwork. The likes of Reece Walsh chiming into the back line was one of the best things to watch last year, along the similar lines of Kalen Ponga. Little bit more run-first mentality than the pass, but when he did throw that cutout pass to the wingers, he got it right a lot of the times. I know we saw a few end up in the seats behind the winger, but when he hits that cutout ball to the winger, it's poetry in motion, and you generally see points come off the back of it. Plenty of pace, plenty of aggression and size. Just a couple of question marks around the depth and how they're going to set up in the back rows. So.
Fletcher Baker helps out a little bit there.
Yeah.
I think this is the year that if they're going to kick on, they need to have faith and get the best out of your Willisons, your Corey Jensen, your Rickies,
100%,
and Fletcher Baker. Great opportunity for him. Good player going up there, being put into another good system. Should all help. Greg, what do you think?
Yeah, I've been stuck on the depth myself. I've never really been sold on Jesse Arthurs for a start. I don't know what it is. I've just always thought there was a better option.
Tristan Saylor might be the better option.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Did look good at the back end of last year though, Arthurs.
Yeah, no, I think he was good, but yeah, go. And Dean Mariner was very good as well.
Yes. Where was I? Payne Haas, absolute monster. He was first picked in my Supercoach squad.
Okay.
Price, everything, doesn't matter.
Set and forget, don't worry,
forget. It is an awesome opportunity for Piakura to really shine.
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of hidden behind some of the people who have left. And they do... I can't really see him dropping too much because some of the players that they've got coming up through the grades, through the ages, I get the feeling they're going to fill in and they're going to fix those holes. So for me personally, I have not got them dropping all that far off last year. A little bit, but not to the extent that some might say.
Okay. What's great about them is you get in that when they're in doubt, they just go to the Haas Carrick and tag team and just ball through the middle and offload to each other, and you just can't stop them. And then all of a sudden Reece Walsh just pops up on about the third offload, and that's it. And when they do that, they're just so good. Like I as you know, I love Pat Carrigan. He's the best lock in the game. I don't care what you say, Penrith fans. He's also the best second row in the game he wants to be. They so great. I really like the centre combination. I like Colbo moving to the centres.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's going to be some defensive questions. We don't know how he's going to stand up against the likes of Kickow or someone running at him, but he's going to get more hands on balls. He's going to
Yep. Keep going.
Yeah, he's going to.
Is that you watching him or?
Yeah, we'll see. And he's explosive enough that he can. This is he can fill into that sort of Latrell Jr. Spruik role.
GI is the comparison everyone's made since he came in.
We've seen him at Origin level do it. I think he'll be fine. And he really, from a Supercoach spectrum, he's in my team because I know he's expensive, but could blow lots of teams away. And then you got Katoni on the other side.
Absolutely.
That all looks good. I really love watching Brisbane play. I'm a big fan of what they do. I just, like I said, I feel like those losses will hit harder than people think right now. I wouldn't be pushing them towards... I don't think they can make another grand final this year unless they play out their skin. And unless those youngsters are guns, like Jordan Ricky and your Hetheringtons of the world become stars.
Well, Ricky looks like a gun already.
Yes.
Pretty damn
You had
close
Spruik
anyway.
a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I've been watching him pretty closely for a few years.
Before he even debuted.
He's ball running and he's good. I'd like to see him develop a little bit more of an offload, but his ball running and footwork's fantastic, and there's enough size about him that he can be a terrorising back row at his best. I still think they're top four. I still think they push deep into the competition.
And I still think they blow teams away.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are the best team in the comp for putting on 30 points in 20 minutes.
Reece Walsh, ball in hand, when you see him step off that left foot, nobody gets anywhere near him, and he just blows them away with the acceleration. It's just...
He should be the Australian fullback.
Quite possibly, yeah.
I think he should be. And that's what I'm going to say.
It's going to be targeted a lot more, obviously. There's going to be even more pressure on him again this year. They'll put bombs up and try to belt him, and there will be an extra pressure. They might try to defend him a little bit different, defend him from the inside out or the opposite, outside in.
Yeah.
Try to just throw a different defensive shape at him, but I think he's got all the skills to continue on what he produced last year. So
he had a bit of a tendency last year to make the wrong decision. Not as often as he made the right one, but if he can shore up that, and instead of 6 out of 10, make it an 8 out of 10, that will stop the slide.
The problem is that 20 minutes. When he just fucking loses his shit and just tears the team apart for 20 minutes, you just can't do anything about it. Yeah. He goes from 20 on Supercoach to 140.
And that's what it's 5 out of 5 correct calls, and he's got a try and 2 try assists. And
how many times did you say it last year? If
he did. There was one game.
Passes hit 70% of the times, he'd have 1,000 try assists.
Yeah. And that's going to happen. If I was ever going to Blake. If I was ever going to back a bloke to break the Supercoach record, it'd be Reece Walsh. Whatever it's what is now, but it's now like 270 or something, and he doesn't goal kick, which is a problem. But I'm just looking now. He's 813, 11% ownership. Ezra Mam's 530 and 21% ownership. Any interest in either?
Walsh spends far too long not doing anything. There is never a smooth ride having him in your team.
No, there was literally a game last year where he was like 14 with 10 minutes to go, and he turned up. Yeah. No, he turned up. Yeah, it was preposterous.
There was one where he was -2 at half time, and he ended up with 80 odd.
I originally had him as my first pick fullback. Looking at the draw and the travel to Las Vegas, you've got the Roosters going into Souths, going into Penrith, into Parramatta and the Storm. I think it might, having a second look at it, I think I might be waiting 4 or 5 weeks to get him in. But he will be in my side.
We might park. I'm going to, for the remaining teams, just talk about a few people relative to the teams. But we'll park the rest of Supercoach chat to the end because it's such a wacky year. We've got that 2-week break from the first 2 games. Do you pick blokes from them? You got the bye in the first round. And I really want to get a few Tigers players and because I'm a sicko. And
you're a masochist.
And they got a buy, and all of a sudden, buys are
That's
weird.
the thing. So, if you think that you're going to hold them for more than half the season, just take the buy.
But we'll talk about that soon.
But,
anything else you want to touch on with Brisbane? Ezra Mam, the other one, 20%, 530K interest or no?
Another one, as I said, that first 6 weeks draw scares the shit out of me of having anyone apart from workers out of that Brisbane side in the likes of Haas and Carrigan.
Yeah. And for the record, that's Roosters, Souths, Penrith, Para, Melbourne, Dolphins. And then they get a cosy run. So about round 6 is when you want to get your Brisbane people. Then they got Dolphins, Canberra, Tigers.
Because, I dare say those guys that are at the top of the price list will probably find themselves losing a bit of money in that first month.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong, there could be a game where they blow the shit out of one of those teams and score 40 points and you miss out on 150. But, for mine, I'll be looking at just, if I'm getting anyone, it'll be Carrigan and Haas to start the year. Other than that, I'll probably be waiting for the attacking players for a couple of weeks out of that Brisbane side.
So what do you do what do we do with Brisbane? What's the final word here?
Top 4 all day. And
can I win a comp?
Yeah, obviously the finals is a whole nother competition. I would want them to be in that top 4 because I think they may drop. They'll be getting on some heavy legs come final time. But if they have the ability to drop a game
when you actually look at this team,
get into the finals,
there's only going to be probably Walsh, Haas, Carrigan that's going to play rep footy. Like they're going to
Cobbo probably. Cobbo.
Oh, sorry, Cobbo.
Reynolds will be in and around
maybe,
the squad.
Maybe Katoni. Reynolds will be 3rd pick New South Wales team.
Yeah.
So, they're not going to be gassed a lot.
Tough start, tough origin draw. So, be in between times if there'll be some big scores coming out of some Brisbane players, and then back end of the year, just be interesting how they shape up come finals time.
Yeah. I'm saying I think they're going to complete my top 4. Mm-hmm. I think last year was their shot, and they blew it.